Good evening to our viewers and listeners across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, across the Caribbean and the rest of the known world. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. My name is Russel John. I'll be filling in for Mr. Colin Dow this evening as we take you beyond the headlines once again, and we'll be delving into the conversation with the Carriacou Carnival Rebound. Kayak Mass 2025 is set for the 26th of February right through to early March. We'll be chatting with two of our guests joining us online, Ms. Rina Mills. She's the Product Development Officer at the Grenada Tourism Authority, and she'll be alongside Mr. Anderson Leftist Matheson. He's the Cultural Officer in the Government of Grenada for Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Lady and gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening to you and all the viewers.
Thank you so much for taking the time out to be with us this evening. As mentioned, we have quite a bit to chat about concerning Kayak Mass, but before we get into any of that, how are you? Ladies first, so Ms. Mills, let's start with you.
Should I say partly cloudy with a few scattered showers or gusty winds? Coping after burial.
I hope no gusty winds tonight.
And I hope on the outside it's very gusty.
I hope they die down soon, but I'm happy to hear that you're coping. Mr. Matheson, how about you?
Same here. I'm surviving and getting back one day at a time. I'm coping.
Excellent. So we're coping. Thank you so much again for taking the time out to be with us and to share with us this afternoon, given the circumstances. Before we get into the meat of the matter, over the last 6 or so months, there has been a lot that has happened in and with Carriacou and Petit Martinique. So over the last 6 months, can you tell me what has been perhaps the biggest, most impactful thing, or the thing that's going to stick with you or has stuck with you thus far? And again, I'll defer to Rina first and then go to Mr. Leftist.
Oh, okay. Of course, after burial, well, even during burial, it was a lot. And one thing that stuck with me is the ability to remain positive throughout everything. So I lived in Grenada during Hurricane Ivan, and in Carriacou, after burial, I remember saying to a lot of people who thought, okay, that's it with Carriacou, that's it with Petit Martinique, nothing is going to happen. There's no coming back. I'm like, listen, we have to be positive throughout this. We have to trust in God. We have to thank God for small mercies because we are alive, and that is the most important thing. Being alive, we can continue living.
Excellent. Profound, and it is a mantra that I heard echoed across Carriacou when I looked at a few of the interviews with the residents coming out of the burial experience. Mr. Matheson, how about you?
Yeah, what stands out to me is the spirit of our people, that despite all that happened, most persons would have lost their homes, their livelihoods, but you meet a kayak or someone from Petit Martinique, and that jovial spirit is still there. We were not daunted because of what happened. We were still jovial, like Rina said, happy and thankful that we survived it, and we can always rebuild from the ashes and be real stronger, more resilient, and better. So that stick with me. You know, it was and still is some challenging times, but they say tough times don't last. Tough people do, and we are tough people here in Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
Amen to that one. Would you say that the spirit of the kayak people is one of the driving forces behind ensuring that Kayak Mass 2025 takes place?
Well, I would say so, because what has happened for the past 7 months, going on 8 months, has been really stressful. And for anybody living under these circumstances, you understand the stress we're under, especially persons who haven't yet gotten their roof back on. So when it rains, the anxiety is there, the water coming in. And for the past few weeks, we've been having some very high winds. and you're there, and that wind is blowing the tarpaulin, and you're under it, and you're wondering, would the tarpaulin hold up under this wind? So that stress, that constant stress, is there, and the Carnival is just an avenue for us to relieve some of the stress and just for a day or two, just free our minds and just relax and recharge to continue the struggle of rebuilding our lives and our livelihoods.
Excellent. Thank you so much. You mentioned the fact that several of the people in Carriacou, the roofs, have not been replaced as yet. Can you share a bit of the extent of the damage towards the equipment, the materials, the venues that we usually use for kayak masts?
Well, the venues, I think now the venues survive. The closest one is probably the Botanical Gardens.
Right.
The Hillsborough Tennis Court, where a lot of the action takes place, completely destroyed.
Right.
Hillsborough playing field was damaged, but it is being used also as a site to store some of the debris from the storm, because there were lumber, concrete, galvanized, wood, all over the place. So you had to have this centralized area. So the Hillsborough playing field is one of the areas that being used for that. The Bel Air Heritage Park destroyed. So is the Hillsborough Community Center gone. So right now it's just the Botanical Garden that is there to host events. But slowly but surely we're getting back there, because Tropics, a private venue, has been reopened, and we're getting some of the other playing fields cleaned up, so probably we can start having other activities in these areas as time goes on. But bit by bit we're getting there.
Excellent. And in terms of the preparations, how has the whole barrel situation affected getting ready for Kayak Mass 2025?
Well, it has affected us in terms of some of our probably service providers or performers that we want to get into Carriacou from Grenada, and accommodation.
Right.
The biggest challenge is accommodation at the moment. So we're still working around to get some accommodation for some key persons that will be coming to assist us in executing the festival. So we're working on those challenges. But I think as a people, we're going to overcome it and get there, so we'll be able to have a wonderful time, and everybody will be comfortable enough to execute what we have planned for Kayak Mass 2024-5.
And if I may add to what Leftist just said, uniforms as well, because in conversation with many of the mass bands, especially our Shakespeare mass that is unique to us here in Carriacou and Pichimatnik, we know that Carriacou is the only place in the world where one can witness this rich tradition during a carnival.
Yeah.
And in conversation with them, many of them or most of them lost their homes, and in the process lost their uniforms. So now, instead of money going into hosting or showcasing the mass, now we have to purchase a uniform for the masqueraders.
And from a product development standpoint, you're with the GTA, and I know coming out of Kayak Mass 2024, there were some major plans for expanding and developing Kayak Mass. In light of those plans, obviously things are going to be scaled back a bit this year, and we'll get into the schedule a bit. But is there an opportunity that you are seeing for perhaps wiping the slate clean to some extent, keeping what works and experimenting with something new, especially in light of the fact that basically everything has changed overnight with Beryl?
Of course, so we have been saying that as well. So probably Beryl came for a reason. I mean, of course, we know most of it is negative or bad reason, but maybe that's probably one of the reasons, especially with our Shakespeare masses again, and even other cultural aspects. The thing about it, we always say that we need to start with the children, start at a young age, teaching them the different the different practitioners, the different cultures, different traditions which were handed down to us, and how often do we do it. What we see coming out of burial is a way of people uniting, and even the younger people, I see them coming to even the older people, asking them how to do over the weekend, while socializing, realizing, okay, the young children, they're asking, how can I play this? How can I join a band? How can I play music? So these are some of the things that I believe that we have to develop on, that will take our culture forward. We always say that Carriacou is the cradle of culture.
It is certainly the cradle, perhaps the mecca of authentic culture in Grenada, and perhaps the last bastion of finding that connection to our African heritage and African roots. Mr. Matheson, how about you? What possibilities are you seeing coming out of the fact that we have no choice but to do things differently for Kayak Mass 2025?
Yeah, well, I think one of the positives is that we're getting our people, especially our stakeholders, the Calypsonians, the masqueraders, to seeing that the festival is not just about monetary returns. Yes, when you put out, you like to get something back, but it's about the whole enjoyment and sharing of the culture, so that at the end of the day, we can say we've passed this tradition on. So we have young artists coming on board, we have young Shakespearean, young masqueraders, and then we will try to showcase them this year a lot to ensure that going forward, there'll be a critical part of whatever we do in terms of our culture and showcasing it to the world going forward. Because without a foundation and young people to continue it, you're gonna die. You're gonna die when people like myself leave this earth.
Certainly. And let's chat a little bit about the schedule for 2025. So as we mentioned earlier, things have changed in terms of the format, but I'd like us to just dive into the details and the nitty-gritty concerning that. What does Kayak Mass 2025 look like?
Okay. Yes, so it has been scaled down, and the first thing but there is no competition.
Right.
So everything that will be done is just showcasing the culture, showcasing different aspects of our culture at different times. So we start on the 26th, which is Wednesday, the final Wednesday before the Carnival. We normally have that final roadshow downtown. There have been roadshows at different parts of the island throughout the build-up. So this is happening now. So that final Wednesday before the Carnival, there's a final roadshow downtown, where we bring most of the artists that come past you, sing a song, get people hyped with the new music for the season. And we have, interestingly, quite a number of new songs out by artists, and I've been told that there's still some more to come that will be released during this week. So that is happening on the 26th. The 27th and 20th, we move to the Botanical Gardens. We'll be showcasing on the 26th the Calypso aspect in a show entitled Calypso Kingdom, where Calypsonian takes center stage, right. And we're going to showcase the lyric and the social issues, political issues, and all the different aspects of Calypso on that night. The Friday night, Bacchanal Friday, so we have the soca and the groovy artists, along with our junior artists will be showcasing that night, and Horizon, the soca concert, at the Botanical Gardens also. One of the different this is that we have left the Saturday and the Sunday for private promoters to have the events free from any carnival event, so they can have an event whether they want to wet fed, brunches, cruise, whatever we're having. We just have it within our calendar so we can share it. So persons coming would know what is happening, what event is there to attend, and how they can be part of it. So the Saturday and Sunday is open for the private promoters to have the event to enhance the whole feeling of Kayak Mass. Monday and Tuesday Carnival, a lot of what happens in the past. The Juve, I mean, lots of persons are looking forward to the Juve. I think this year Kayak is gonna play a mass because it gives us the opportunity to revel in the fact that we're alive and we have survive Hurricane Beryl. We don't know what is going to come, so enjoy, like Rupi said, enjoy this mass while it lasts, so it could be your last. So I think person going to take this opportunity to enjoy the Juve. Yes, then the Monday we're going to have some kiddies fancy mass will be on the street on the Monday afternoon, and then the Monday night mass Monday night. Tuesday, you must look forward to Shakespeare Mass to the villages, culminating at the display at the Hillsborough. And Tuesday evening, we're going to have everybody coming to Hillsborough last lap with us. And we're asking persons, if you have costume or you're not in a band, just come if you can find an old costume, put it on, come in town, let's jump up, enjoy yourself as we bid farewell to the 2025 kayak pass. Anything I missed out?
Well, as you mentioned, persons who are playing Fancy Mass Parade of the Bands. So Lush already confirmed that they'll be having a band, a senior band, so that is something to look forward to, and we're encouraging persons to play with a band this year. As Leftist indicated, you can probably contact Lush and play with Lush. They have a new band for this year, and if you don't have, if we know a lot of people after Beryl, it's really tough for them. If you have a costume, an old costume, as Leftist indicated, feel free to jump up and play.
Yeah. Something I also I missed, and I think for the Sunday we trying to emphasize this year, because there is no calypso competition per se, the Cambole, the tradition where you cook in the village, had a stick mass. So we're encouraging communities and villages to have it, make it on a bigger scale this year. But there are some communities that have it. I know Montreal, Carriacou, they have they have a good Cambole. So yes, encouraging them to continue the tradition and to encourage other communities to have a Cambole, so that we can bring back some of that traditional aspect of a carnival that probably been dying over the years. So this is the opportunity to showcase it, so that the world can see what the Cambole aspect of the carnival is, because that has been dying over the years, and just a few places you can see it. So this year, we're encouraging persons to be part of a Cambole, either in your village or join one of the neighboring villages to showcase the Cambole.
Excellent. And just piggybacking off of that a bit, where normally would we find the Cambole being celebrated in regular times? Which are those villages?
Well, Carriacou, Montreal, and Sixro, that three are the villages that had kept it alive.
Right.
For the longest time, and Belmont to a lesser extent. Those are the villages that keep it. And I think they're continuing this year. So we're encouraging them to do it, continue it, and then we're encouraging others who probably would not have done it in the past to get on board and have something happening this year.
And in terms of that encouragement, that's my follow-up question. Perhaps, Rina, you can weigh in here. What are we doing specifically to get them to execute the Cambole?
Of course, so one thing that we're going to do, what we are doing now, we're going to promote the events. We also indicated to these different communities if they need any support, the committee discuss with us, and probably we can meet them on their behalf. We are appealing to sponsors to come on board to support the carnival. So part of your support can go towards the village Cambole.
Excellent. And in terms of your response...
something I must add also, that this year, because of the special circumstances of Beryl, the shows are going to be free. Okay. We won't be charging. Because we want people to really come out and just enjoy themselves. And we know most people want to save that money to help to build back. So if you're going to be charging persons, then you may not get people may not choose to come to the event because they have to think, I have to buy a window, I have to buy a door, or I have to get some paint. So we want people to just come out and enjoy themselves. So admission is free for the shows Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You can come, enjoy yourself, and still be frugal enough to save some money to continue the build-back process.
And the truck.
Yeah?
And the truck behind the band.
Yes. We're also assisting with the truck on the street, we are also assisting with the bands with having a truck on the street so the band can parade. We don't want to burden the persons too much with having to get the expense to hire a truck, hire a DJ. So we're trying to work out so we can have the trucks on the street so we can parade behind the trucks along the streets of Hillsborough.
And how does that affect our private promoters? So, and specifically, you mentioned Lush would be having a band, a fancy mass band. What does that look like for Kayak Mass 2025?
So basically, it's a plus for the bands because, as Leftist indicated, over the years they would have spent money to pay for a truck, to pay for a song system, to pay for the DJs on the truck. But this year, the committee is providing that for them. So basically, we are meeting them on the half. So we provide a song system, we provide a DJ for you, and they provide, well, I guess it's drinks or refreshments for the bands.
Okay. And in terms of the response from promoters, what has that been like? You mentioned Lush. Are there any others? One. And in terms of the private events for the Saturday and Sunday, what has the response been like?
So basically, Lush is a mass band, so they'll be on the street on Tuesday. But with the private promoters, so what we have done now, we have developed a calendar of events, which includes both the committee events and the private events. Even the promoters as well, where over the years they would have to pay a sum of money. This year we are working very closely with them, just a small sum, basically to assist in promoting the event. From what we gathered from the promoters, they're all on board, they're all excited to host events Saturday and Sunday. Even some indicated that Friday and Monday as well, they will be hosting events. Because the thing about it, what we have noticed that even though there is a scaled down amount of rooms on the island, basically the Grenada Tourism Authority, when we prepared our list, we noticed, okay, hey, there are about, let's say about 160, 170 rooms presently, and all those rooms are already taken. Even private homes, people have been reaching out to us for the longest while asking, even before we planned the mass, whether there was going to be a carnival, and people already booked their tickets to come home. So we know that at all the events, a lot of people would come out and support, and that is putting an income in their pocket. Another thing, we are working along with our vendors. Our vendors on the streets that will be selling throughout the carnival. So again, we've reduced the cost for them, and something we want to mention. So in our vendors meeting, in our discussions with listening to the vendors, a challenge that they had over the years, persons that are coming in, they're just setting up in the street. Some of them are blocking them off and vending. So this year, we want to work strictly with the vendors from Carriacou and Peter Martinique, registered vendors in Carriacou and Peter Martinique, because we want to give them the opportunity. Hey, after the hurricane, we want you to put something in your pocket. So we want to give them the opportunity to come out and vend for the weekend, well, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So we are appealing to persons. If you're not registered, then you would not be able to vend. Okay. It's strictly for a person from Carriacou and Peter Martinique.
So vending restricted to residents and registered residents at that. That sounds like quite a bit of logistics to work through. What perhaps has been the biggest logistical challenge so far in terms of organizing for Kayak Mass?
Venue, accommodation, those have been the biggest thing. Because like we say, the Botanical Gardens is the only venue that's available to host the kind of event that you want to host. So we had to get the Botanical Gardens, work with the ministry to have the gardens ready for that. So we'll start preparing the venue from next week. And then accommodation, like I said, for certain key stakeholders that is coming to assist with the execution of the mass to ensure that we can execute. So we had so those two challenges
And money.
The finances, whatever I do, finances is always a challenge, especially in this time. Everybody is trying to see how they can save something to help to build back. So that's always been a challenge. So we are appealing to the corporate citizens who can come on board and assist us with making sure that we have a mass and persons can enjoy themselves. The vendors can get a little funds in their pocket to assist them in the rebuilding process.
Ms. Mills, you mentioned money. Let's talk money a little bit.
I did not hear that.
Financial challenge.
Yes, so as indicated in everything that you do, of course, you need a little something in your hand. So because of the hurricane and due to late planning, we weren't able to touch base with a lot of the sponsors who came on board last year, and many whom we were in conversation with, many of them are just trying to recover after the hurricane. So we are basically appealing to persons. If we haven't contacted you and you know you have a little something in your bank, please contact us. You can contact myself or Leftist or anyone else from the committee. Just let us know that you want to pledge. We are not asking for money. Well, money is good, but you can pledge in kind as well, because there are assistance we need. For example, in purchasing tickets for artists from Grenada to Carriacou, we need money for that, and there are other things that we can consider as kind. So we are asking persons to come on board and assist us. Let's work together. Let's work as a team. Let's work for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
Excellent. What a way to end our first segment. An appeal to those of us to continue supporting Carriacou and Petit Martinique. We'll take our first break and continue with our conversation concerning Kayak Mass 2025.
Have you heard about the new Softweave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Softweave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue, available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Softweave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information. ACB Grenada Bank advises that its AGM will be held on Thursday, February 20th, 2025 at 3 p.m. at the Spice Island Beach Resort, Grand Anse Beach. All shareholders are encouraged to attend.
Are you looking for a reliable, affordable, and customer-friendly pharmacy? Look no further than Hills and Valley Pharmacy, the nation's leading healthcare products and services provider. We are committed to serving you at convenient locations. Find an extensive and affordable selection of prescription and over-the-counter drugs and medical supplies at Church Street, Hillsborough, Carriacou, Jubilee Street, Grenville, St. Andrew, near the bus terminal, and Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George. Our committed team is always available to offer valuable assistance for managing your health and wellness. Discover the additional benefits of our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street and our Medcare Center on Grenville Street, where we provide in-house physiotherapy, massage therapy, doctor consultations, and eye care services. Our commitment is to satisfy all your healthcare needs, including competitive prices, loyalty rewards, and special discounts for seniors. Contact us at 435-6904 and WhatsApp 535-4734. Choose Hills and Valley Pharmacy. Remember, your health is our business.
So good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. We're discussing Kayak Mass 2025, the Carriacou Carnival Rebound. Joining us online, Ms. Rina Mills and Mr. Matheson, Anderson Matheson, live from Carriacou. And as we close out our first segment, we had an appeal for support for Kayak Mass 2025. You can sense the importance of Kayak Mass coming from the two of you. And I want to give you an opportunity to share with us what is your hope? What is your hope, your biggest hope for the impact of Kayak Mass 2025?
Well, me is twofold, and I think this is one of the reasons that we're having the event. The first thing, I think that at the end of the day, persons who've been stressed out since the passage of Hurricane Beryl can get an opportunity to help relieve some of the stress, because Carriacou is a very cultural island, and since Beryl passage, we've cancelled Carriacou Regatta in August. We've cancelled our Confest in October, and Parang has been cancelled. So this is the first festival that we're having post-burial. So it would give persons an opportunity to really relieve some of that stress, because like I say, it's been stressful, and some of us cope better than some. Some of us are going through emotions, and we need this day, 2 days to just free up and just cast our worries aside and enjoy ourselves. And the second thing that I think will come up, that our small vendors use all the festivals in Carriacou to help supplement their income. And with the passage of Beryl, these festivals are able to happen. So here, the Carnival will give these small vendors an opportunity to raise some much needed funds to help them. It's going to be a long rebuild, and it wouldn't happen overnight, so every little bit that they get towards that rebuild process is going to help. So I think my hope is that coming from these two things that will impact, persons can really help release some of the stress, so we don't have to bring in endless counselors to be counseling persons things, so we can use that opportunity to just go there, dance away, have a good time, and release some of that stress. And then persons can go there, raise some funds, and help them in the rebuild. Because also the artists, a lot of the artists will be performing, will be given a little stipend to help them. So again, it will be helped to ensure that persons have a little thing in their pockets to help in the rebuilding process.
Excellent. Ms. Mills, what about you?
Oh, sorry. Basically, adding to what Leftist indicated, he mentioned not having some of the festivals, but of course, our culture is very, very important to us, and not having our culture, if we don't have Carnival this year, if we don't have Regatta, probably if we don't have a Maroon, then what will happen next year? Please God. So many of the people, they might think, okay, well, we didn't have it, and it become laid back. So I think Carriacou is very strong on our culture. We are very strong on our culture, and hosting the events, showcasing the events, will bring tourists here. Many people come here, not just for sight, not just for sand, not just for beach, but because of our culture. That's why they come here. So we have to continue keeping our culture alive.
Excellent. It is true that the cultural identity of Carriacou is perhaps woven into the very fabric of what it means to be a kayak. And so I can see the vitality, the need to preserve that aspect of the cultural identity of the island. You mentioned visitors. In terms of visitors coming in to participate, to observe, what are the logistical considerations surrounding that?
The thing about it, so we have limited accommodation. We already indicated that. Another thing, that when people come to the island, they would want a place to eat. So many of our restaurants, they're back open. So someone coming to Carriacou, they can get breakfast, they can get lunch, they can get dinner. Many of our stakeholders, our tour operators, our water taxis, our ground taxis, they're all back up. So logistics are in place for accommodating persons for Carnival. And we always say, when you come for Carnival, at least have an appreciation as well for what we have on the island, not just the Carnival, but our sand, our sea. So probably jump a boat, take a tour to the recently, we know about the underwater sculpture park. So that project was done in October, so persons can go there. They can even do a nautical tour to Selena Island, go swim with the turtles to White Island, to Sandy Island. So come to Carriacou and enjoy Carriacou in its entirety. And don't forget, take a trip to Pitimatnik.
Mr. Matheson, are you going to be in here?
Yeah, some of the logistical consideration you have to take into account is that because of limited room stocks, person wanting to come to Carriacou, the ferries are running. So the opportunity is that you can probably come up with the ferry at night, party whole night, go back to mainland in the morning if you so choose. Because you're coming to party.
Right.
So you come up, because I mean, I've left Carriacou in the afternoons already, go down to mainland Grenada, go to the stadium in a show, from the stadium, catch the boat back in Carriacou in the morning. So this is one avenue if person really want to come and participate and be part of the Carnival. You can come up tonight, fed whole day, and go down the next night, afternoon with the boat, with the ferry they're running, and they're gonna look to see what the schedule look like, so that they can put on additional trips.
Right.
Another thing we have to consider is drinking water. As I've said probably in another interview, that because Carriacou main source of water, drinking water, is rainwater harvesting, and we have lost a lot of our roofs and homes, and it's not been rebuilt as yet. Drinking water is an issue. So persons coming from mainland, we can work with an extra case of water for drinking purposes. We have seawater right around us, so bathing is not a problem, but drinking, you may have to work with maybe a gallon of water, a case of water for your drinking purposes. So those two things you have to take into consideration as you come to kayak mass, especially from the mainland and neighboring islands for Carnival 2025.
All right, so I've heard of FETs where you bring your own cooler. I suppose you can bring your own case of water.
Bring your water.
But I said that we have to be careful with the vendors. Some of them may think they're selling water, and why we encourage persons to bring water. So we still have to be mindful of that.
Because the thing is, somebody might come and they might buy water on the street, but when they go back to wherever they're staying, they may not be drinking water. So they have a case of water at home, where you might have a room, be in a room, they can have drinking water.
Have there been any considerations? You said room stock limited, and that's understandable. Has there been any considerations for perhaps turning the Kayak Mass 2025 into a camping experience? Some designated
people already
areas
indicated they're
camping.
coming with the tents.
Yeah. Last year, for example, I know there was a camp like basically set up at the stadium, the mini stadium. So I think some of these persons might do the same.
On the beach?
Yeah, on the beach. Yeah. So some persons would do that, work with a tent. Some people have the tent there. They come up with a tent, pitch a tent somewhere, and good to go. So that's another alternative for accommodation. You can work with a tent if you have a tent, and you can pitch a tent on the beach, on the stadium, hopefully. Permission is granted for that time. Like I say, we're surrounded by seawater, so bathing is not a problem.
Perfect.
Yeah. One other thing we're looking at too, the main public toilets in Hillsborough is down, so we'll be having portables around the tongue of Hillsborough, so that persons wanting to use the washroom would have them accessible. Looking at probably 2 or 3 strategic areas, so they have them set up, so that persons want to relieve themselves will be able to do that.
Excellent. And in terms of security, what does that look like for this year?
Well, our main security, the Royal Grenada Police Force, as a matter of fact, we're meeting with them tomorrow to finalize all the security plans and the traffic details for Caracmas 2025. So after the meeting tomorrow, I think the police would outline the plan for traffic security. We'll be working with the police and private security to ensure that Caracmas is safe and persons coming to Carriacou for Carnival will have a good time in the safety and comfort of what Carriacou is known for.
Of course. I was about to make the point. I was about to say Caracmas is known to be the safest carnival in the entire region, probably in the world. We always tell people, come here, it's relatively safe. Instead of going to other islands, probably neighboring Trinidad, why not come to Carriacou? And a lot of people have been doing that over the years. And from our reviews, they have indicated they came here, enjoyed themselves, and the mass is relatively safe.
Excellent. Perhaps a talking point for us to capitalize on within our marketing campaigns. You did mention the competing neighboring island Trinidad. Their Carnival celebrations are around this time as well. Is there any consideration for attracting persons who may be considering to head down to Trinidad, perhaps make a Carnival trip, island hopping onto from Carriacou down to mainland Trinidad?
Well, I know what has happened in the past is that there was I think Nazim, there was the one who had coined that. For your ticket to Trinidad, you can come to Carriacou, room, board, enjoy Carnival for the cost of going to Trinidad. So that was how he said it. He said you can come to Carriacou Carnival for the cost of a ticket to Trinidad. Just the cost of a ticket to Trinidad, nothing else. You can come to Carriacou, enjoy Carnival, and get back home.
Some ambush marketing right there. From the GTA standpoint, I know we're using this platform as one way to promote Carnival Caracmas 2025. And Ms. Mills, you did mention that you are appealing to our corporate sponsors and even people in general who want to assist to reach out. I'd like to give you an opportunity to just share some of the ways they can get in contact with yourself or Mr. Matheson. And if you can outline some of I know you touched on a couple, but I'd like us to delve in just a little deeper on some of the things, the practical things that you would need in order to make this free mass happen.
Okay, so persons can contact me at 533-0825, of course, our area code 473-533-0825, via email at rmills@prgrenada.com. You can contact the office at 4437-948. Leftist?
Yeah, you can contact me on telephone 414-9808 or at culture@cpma.gov.gd. I will repeat that, culture@cpma.gov.gd or leftist24@gmail.com. You can contact me via email or telephone.
Excellent. And so in terms of those things that our corporate sponsors, and let's dig into it a little bit. Over the last 7 months, the primary focus has been the rebuilding effort. And so much would have gone into, from our corporate partners, much would have gone into rebuilding. Here we are about to offer a celebration. Some would argue, why not say no Carnival this year and just focus on the rebuilding? Mr. Matheson made a case for the impact of holding on to our cultural identity, and you strengthen that, right? But what's the case that we put to our sponsors? They've been shelling out. What do we say to them now?
Oh, the same thing that Leftist indicated. Of course, the carnival is very, very important to us here in Carriacou. It helps us in several ways that he already indicated. And by you coming on board, you're strengthening what we have here on the island, our culture, our people. Of course, some people, few people may think, okay, well, maybe there should not be a carnival, but why not? Or people have indicated over the past few months, it's been hard for us here living. I remember after the hurricane losing my house, and I was a bit really, really stressed out and trying to remain positive throughout the situation. And then with better easements, as things happen, a person started socializing, going to those activities. It sort of assisted me and it sort of helped me in returning to some sort of normalcy, because back then, just after the hurricane, it was very, very tough. And I really want to take the opportunity to thank everyone who came on board, who reached out to us here in Carriacou, who assisted and who continued to do so, because it was really, really needed. I remember just after the hurricane, Explore Carriacou and Putumatic, I managed that page, and 2 days after the hurricane, the Wednesday, I went online and said, hey, in Carriacou, we are about 96% devastated. And then after that, the PM came on and he said 98. I was like, you see, it's really, really close. And we were really, really struggling then. And now, I mean, it feels really better. I mean, over the weekend, I went to my first road show for the Carnival season. And after that, now I'm rejuvenated. So by persons coming on board, it helps all of us here in Carriacou and Putumatic.
And just to add what we are saying, the Carnival would also send a message to the world that Carriacou is rebuilding, we're rebounding. We're not down and out. As we always say, we are resilient people. And yes, things are not how we hope it will be, but we're getting there. And having the carnival will tell us, here, listen, despite all that has happened and all that is happening, we are still going out there and celebrate our culture, celebrate our people. And we're going to do it with the spirit that has bring us together, and that's the people togetherness, unity, and showing the strength of our people. So it shows the world that here, despite what is being said, Carriacou is on the rise again, and we're having this event showcase and tells them definitely that if we can host this event, that we are really rebuilding and rebounding stronger and better.
Oh, and just to add to that, I want to inform everyone out there, regionally and internationally, that we are open for business. I saw comments on social media a couple of weeks ago, someone asking whether there are buses in Carriacou that are running. Like, really?
Buses are running like a couple of days after, once the roads were cleared, buses were running.
Of course, we are open for business.
Yeah.
And I do think that's an important message to send. Not just that Carriacou is on the rise, and I do love that phrase, Carriacou on the rise again, but that Carriacou is indeed open for business. And so there might have been questions concerning whether or not Kayak Mass this year is more of a central, local, just for kayaks. But as you've mentioned over the course of the evening, we are, as you said, Ms. Mills, open for business, and so the invitation is there for people to come to Carriacou to enjoy the celebrations.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mr. Matheson.
One of our stakeholders from Grenada, Slum, and the Real Jab, they'll be coming to Carriacou for Carnival. They've been coming for probably over 10 years now. They've been coming.
All right.
And they've been calling since last year. Are they having Carnival? And once the decision was made to have a Carnival, he said he'll be here.
Lush is coming. Lush is coming.
You know, so it tells you that despite what is happening, what is being said, people want an avenue to just free up themselves. Like I say, it's been stressful. I mean, could you imagine you're on a tarpaulin, the rain is coming, you're bailing out water, And as you finish bail out water, you say, well, good, here comes the rain again. That's stress, and some people have that daily. I know some persons, every time the rain sets up, they're gone into panic, you know. And imagine, it's not good for you to be under that stress for 7-8 months.
Right.
You need to just go out and just relieve some of the stress, just relax for 2 days, and here we're going to deal with it again. Continue.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We do have to take our final break, so we'll be right back. Open up the phone lines in a bit.
Have you heard about the new Softweave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Softweave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue, available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Softweave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information. ACB Grenada Bank advises that its AGM will be held on Thursday, February 20th, 2025 at 3 p.m. at the Spice Island Beach Resort, Grand Anse Beach. All shareholders are encouraged to attend.
Are you looking for a reliable, affordable, and customer-friendly pharmacy? Look no further than Hills and Valley Pharmacy, the nation's leading healthcare products and services provider. We are committed to serving you at convenient locations. Find an extensive and affordable selection of prescription and over-the-counter drugs and medical supplies at Church Street, Hillsborough, Carriacou, Jubilee Street, Grenville, St. Andrew, near the bus terminal, and Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George. Our committed team is always available to offer valuable assistance for managing your health and wellness. Discover the additional benefits of our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street and our Medcare Center on Grenville Street, where we provide in-house physiotherapy, massage therapy, doctor consultations, and eye care services. Our commitment is to satisfy all your healthcare needs, including competitive prices, loyalty rewards, and special discounts for seniors. Contact us at 435-6904 and WhatsApp 535-4734. Choose Hills and Valley Pharmacy. Remember, your health is our business.
So good evening again and welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. We are talking Kayak Mass 2025, the Carriacou Carnival Rebound. We've had impassioned pleas for support for Kayak Mass 2025, and we've caught a sense of the cultural importance as well as the social and psychological importance of Kayak Mass 2025. I want us to touch a bit on the economics that go into and we hope will come out of Kayak Mass 2025. I also like us to open up the phone lines for our viewers and listeners. Feel free to call in, pose any questions, add to the discussion this evening. So back to our guests for the evening. We mentioned in-kind contributions are acceptable, welcome, encouraged. We know cash may be a bit strained to get at this point, but we are accepting in-kind contributions. Mr. Matheson, you represent local government. Can you speak to the government's contributions to Kayak Mass 2025?
Well, the government is putting a financial contribution into the festival, and the amount, we haven't finalized the amount as yet, how much they're putting, but they've made a commitment to finance part of the festival. So hopefully, before the festival actually take up, they'll announce the amount that they're putting into hosting this event, and that's one of the reasons we're trying to make sure that some of these events are free, so persons can really go out there and enjoy. We don't worry about having to pay to come to see the show, to enjoy the show, because, for example, the Calypso aspect of the Carnival, a lot of our senior citizens, they really enjoy the Calypso. So they come to the Calypso event. And a lot of our senior citizens have lost their homes. And some of them don't have any income. Some of them are relying on a little pension from abroad. So it will give them an opportunity to just come out and relax in a nice ambience, sit down and listen to the good Calypso music. So again, like I said, the government is putting the majority of the festival. The amount will be known shortly by the minister or the PS to the public.
Excellent. Rina, from the GTA standpoint, what kinds of contributions are we seeing?
Over the years, the Grenada Tourism Authority, we have been supporting in the Shakespeare Mass component of Kayak Mass. We have in the past conducted many trainings throughout the schools in Carriacou, all the primary schools in Carriacou. So more or less, we want to work. It's a bit late for that this year, but hopefully next year, God's will. But Grenada Tourism Authority will be supporting the committee in the hosting of Shakespeare component, Shakespeare Mass, Kayak Mass 2025. As well, we'll be supporting part of the marketing plan as well. The committee have reached out to us to assist with the marketing in terms of video production. So we'll be getting that done as well.
And as you touched on marketing, are there any new strategies that we'd be bringing to the promotion of Kayak Mass 2025, perhaps piggybacking off of the lessons that were learned from Spice Mass over the last few years?
So we have recently had a sales and marketing director, Ms. Tonya Charles. So she visited Carriacou. So I know that she has traveled, and in the process, she'll be promoting Kayak Mass. Because I am under the product development, there isn't much I can speak about the marketing, but I know whenever they go to trade shows or different areas, Kayak Mass has been promoted. Arriving on the airport as well, I know there is a screen in the baggage area. I know there were conversations to have this. Well, over the years, we've been having when there are different times of our festival, that screen is occupied with content of that particular festival. So I believe now Kayak Mass is being showcased there as well.
Excellent. I saw that. You did mention some ways that our sponsors could provide in-kind contributions. So again, it's not just that we're looking for financial support. That is not to say don't give the money, but if there are things that can be contributed, these would be welcomed by yourself and the committee as well.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So can we just run through a list of some of the things that we'd be willing to accept for this year?
Yeah. So I think, like, if persons have flatbed truck that can assist with hosting a song system for the street parade,
right?
You can donate your truck for the Monday or the Tuesday, or about days. Somebody might have volunteered to drive for the truck for the 2 days. Some person may have tents, want to assist the committee with use of the tent, because, for example, the Botanical Gardens don't have no major building there, so you would need tents in case there is rain. Somebody want to sponsor a tent, they can do so. Stage, light, and song, those things are costly in terms of producing the shows. So if somebody is out there and they have a song system or a stage setup, lighting, and they want to sponsor, they can contact us, and show their interest in that. And there is also, again, we have some stakeholders who will be coming from Grenada. There are free tickets to be purchased. Somebody can sponsor 2-3 persons coming from Grenada. We have some Carriacou artists who is living in Grenada. We're bringing up to help enhance the thing. Like my good friend, Super Flint and Superstar, the Reigning Independence Kayak Monarch. She's kayak, and she'll be part of the festival. And Super Flint is in Grenada. So we're looking for anything that can happen.
Yeah, everyone know. Well, most people know when they're having an event, all the logistics you may need. You need place for people to stay. Another thing we mentioned, Shakespeare Mass.
Right.
So many of the Shakespeareans, they lost their uniform. So that is something people can contribute towards. If you're a seamstress out there and you want to sew the uniform for the Shakespeareans, of course we can give you the pattern how you can sew the uniform. You know how to make a crown for the Shakespeareans. Of course, please support us with that. So uniforms and whatever. People having events, you know what's needed. So
I'm seeing an opportunity for not just corporate Grenada, but every aspect of Grenada to get involved in doing something that, as we said, can release some of the burden and the stress that has been on the backs of.
And it will show the unity of our people, coming together for our people, because, like I say, that's what we need at this time. We need to come together to really help in the rebuilding process, because you can't do it by yourself. I mean, there are times you might feel, yeah, I'm good, but when you're home by yourself and you think about it, it's stress. The roof is up, but I ain't have windows, I ain't have doors. Where am I gonna get the money to get the window and the doors? Here comes a neighbor. Hey, I have some used doors there, you might be able to use them. You know?
Right.
Or I have some windows there that I'm not using, you can use. So that unity of our people could ensure that we rebuild together faster.
And something I want to mention as well, in terms of sharing information and promotions of our kayak mass, I want to take the opportunity to thank you, GBN, for having us appear on Beyond the Headlines. It's sharing information, and many people out there, we know that you have a social media page, so we share a flyer. I mean, we have a social media page where we'll be sharing most of our information, Carriacou Carnival Committee on Facebook, so feel free to assist us in sharing whatever information our followers and not your followers, someone may see and never know what can derive from it. So thanks again, GBN.
We'll pass that on to the producers, but certainly the message is clear. Carriacou is open for business. Kayak Mass 2025 is certainly happening. We did mention putting things in place going forward. And I want us to explore a little bit going forward. We mentioned most of the venues completely destroyed. Botanical Gardens being really the only place that's up. In terms of resilience, disaster preparedness, specifically as it relates to the Kayak Mass and the festival and cultural products that Carriacou produces, what measures are we looking to put in place should another barrel, God forbid?
We start with our homes first.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a home, so the government has instituted this Build Back Better home, and it has started in Carriacou and Pitima. I think, as a matter of fact, last weekend they handed over 3 homes. And what I realized is happening, a lot of persons, homeowners in Carriacou, have lost their roof, is building back the roofs with this new, what they call the shared roof with the parapet wall, to help strengthen it. So that is happening, so that persons can have and feel a bit comfortable in their home if another hurricane comes, that they may not lose their roof. I mean, Mother Nature, the fury of Mother Nature is powerful, and we can never be ready for what she brings for us. But you're taking all necessary measures to ensure that you're building to the standards, to ensure that, to try to mitigate losing that roof. I know the government is going to be doing a cultural center where the Hillsborough Community Center once stood. The building is still there, but it's going to be demolished, and a cultural center is going to be built there. I think that will be help us in showcasing, training and showcasing the culture in a more comfortable place. As a performer, when you go to perform and you're not in a comfortable venue, you don't get the best out of you.
Right.
But when you're going to a venue and you see, oh man, this place looks so good, you want to go there and deliver. And I can give you a practical example. In 2019, we have a string band group. We were part of the Grenada contingent that went to Carriacou in Trinidad. And when we went to the Sapa in Trinidad, when you just seen the venue, you know we're going to put on a good show. Just going there, you know we're going to go on stage and we're going to, like I say, going to mash the place. And that's what we hope will happen with our culture center here in Carriacou, that when persons come to the venue, they're going to give their all, because they know this is built to showcase our culture, and we're going to showcase it to the best of our ability.
Another thing I think we need to do as well is to properly document what we have realized coming out from this. So we're trying to reach out to the different mass bands now. So can we go into the archive and see who are the masqueraders, who are the mass bands, who we can contact? Another thing again, what we are losing is the uniqueness of our traditions, the way that the older people did it as compared to how we are doing it now, what they did back then. If we could have only seen what they did and what is unique to it, then we would know how to continue. So I think that we need to properly document our culture here on the island.
Certainly, especially again as the cultural mecca of Grenada, it would make sense for us to employ some of those preservation methods. So we mentioned the Build Back Better homes, the cultural center being one of the venues. With respect to the other venues that were damaged and some of the other places that we use in the past for kayak mass, can you share a bit on what are the plans for those locations?
Well, I know from discussion with the minister that the Hillsborough Recreation Ground should be clear of all debris by, I think, you're looking at May, June.
All right.
So once it's clear of the debris, then they're gonna rebuild. They're gonna redo the surface to ensure that there is no pieces of metal, nails in the area. So they're gonna redo the surface and rebuild the area. So hopefully by last quarter of this year, that Hillsborough Recreation Ground should be available again for to host events. The Hillsborough Tennis Court again is going to be plans to rebuild it. And I think it also gives opportunity for all the venues to redesign them, to bring them up to modern times so that they can be more accommodating to performers and patrons. So when you're hosting an event, it can be more suitable to really what you're having.
Excellent. And in terms of future festivals, we're hoping Kayak Mass comes off well and does signal to the wider world, hey, Carriacou is indeed building back better and, as Ms. Mills says, open for business. What are the chances of hosting the String Band Festival this year?
Very, very good.
Excellent.
Very good.
Ms. Mills,
it's our culture. Listen, that's the only, you can come to Carriacou on one weekend and experience all our culture on one stage. Yeah. Why not? Listen, recently, African influencer, Woody Meyer, he traveled to Carriacou. When he got here, well, they asked me to escort him around the island. And when I started explaining to him about our rich traditions here on the island, man, he was swept off his feet. He couldn't believe that 13 square mile island, we had such uniqueness in traditions here, or heritage. I mean, basically going to the different points. When I started off telling him about our Saraka, which is our traditional dish, going to the sugar mill, going to Ningo Well, all these different places. I mean, he was swept off his feet. So imagine someone coming from Africa, coming to connect with their roots. Imagine people like you right in Grenada there and us right here. It's our tradition. Yeah. One stage, I think it's from the 25th
of April
to the 27th of April. Carriacou would be the place to be.
And the good thing about this Rebound Festival this year is that the Friday, the village marathon is going to be hosted in my village. And that's a village that has a strong committee. And they're already preparing for marathon. So it's going to be, the Friday is basically taking care of itself just by the fact that it's happening in 6 Roads. And the 6 Roads has a very active and vibrant festival, marathon committee festival body to ensure that the Friday aspect is taken care of.
And recently, well, we are members of the Carriacou Culture Train String Band Group, and we traveled to BVI to perform there for the Fungi Fest. And the string band Lashing Dogs, they've been coming to Carriacou over the years. While we were over there, they were very interested in coming. So we built relationships with groups over there, and we'll be working on at least getting 1 or 2 of them into Carriacou to celebrate our weekend with us. So it's about our roots and culture.
No ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. String Band Festival.
And you're invited as well.
Marathon Festival is happening. You got to come and eat some of that food, man.
It's the smoked food of our ancestors. The jumps will speak. Sweet strings will captivate us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It sounds like I'm going to have to book an off-street ticket to come up to Carriacou this April. You mentioned the strength of the 6 Roads organizing committee, and I just want to juxtapose that against the appeal that you made earlier for communities to put on the Cambouis. What kind of support are we giving to those local organizing committees in order to ensure that like you guys organize for the String Band Festival, that they do and promote the cultural identity of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, especially from government of Grenada standpoint?
Well, the idea is we ask them to come and let me know where we can assist them.
Right.
Because some of these companies have been doing it over the years, so where we can assist them, where they need help, we need help in transportation, in materials, whatever. Let us know so we can see where we can assist them. We don't want to just come and say, oh, we're going to give you this or give you that, and that's not what they need. So we're asking them to come to us and let me know where we can assist you, and we can see how we can work together to ensure that it can really happen.
All right. And Ms. Mills, from a product development standpoint, right? Oftentimes, it's said visitors travel, every Caribbean island has sea, sun, and sand. And we know we've been harping on it all night. Carriacou, cultural mecca, cultural central point in Grenada. The authenticity of these community-based events can go a long way towards the tourism product. From the GTA standpoint, what are we doing to ensure that things like these happen and happen regularly?
Of course, it starts with the younger ones, and we've been saying that for the entire night. Once it's with the children, then it's there for many, many years to come. And at the Grenada Tourism Authority, we have initiated many training opportunities within the primary, secondary, and the communities as well. We have supported many cultural groups in the training aspects of our culture. We have identified persons who have went into the schools to conduct these trainings. The only thing about it is that when we finish the training, so for example, we were probably going to Petit Martinique, we did our string band training, we did our drumming training, came to Carriacou, we did string band training. Many of the trainings that we did, we even formed junior bands that participated in festivals. For example, Culture Kids together with Culture Train, that's how that junior group was formed. But going into the school now, we are hoping that, and as Leftist is here, tourism, culture, creative economy, we are under one umbrella now. We are hoping that it can happen more on a consistent basis, instead of us just doing it over the years like we did for a particular period, let's say 2-3 months. We're hoping that it's something that it can continue happening in school. I know in the area of string band, a music officer within the Ministry of Carriacou and Diplomatic Affairs, Mr. Matheson, he's working on music, but other aspects of our culture, we need to start with the younger ones. And once it is there once that interest is there with them, then it's there to stay.
Mr. Matheson, you want to weigh in here? I saw a tap on the shoulder.
Not this much. I mean, I'm part of I do part of the training, but I'm not the one responsible for it. It's the other Matheson.
The other Matheson.
He's the music officer.
Excellent.
So he goes to the school with a team too. I mean, every now and then I accompany him to assist with the training because it's something that's close to my heart. I learned playing the guitar. Well, I learned the string music as a child growing up in 6 Roads. And like Rina say, once you learn it as a child, it's going to stay with you forever. Time may come, you might kind of move away from it, but you're going to come back to it. You always say you come back to your root,
right.
So you're going to come back to it. So that's what we're trying to do, to make sure that we instill it in the younger ones. So as they grow, they might get involved with other things. That string music, that aspect of the culture will remain in. And we want to make sure that not just string music, but the big drum, the quadrille, the Shakespeare mass, the boat building, and all of our unique cultures are embedded in our children, so you can go from generation to generation. And then, like we still see, 999 years from now, you can come to Carriacou, and these traditions will still be practiced by generations of Carriacous.
One thing I want to mention again, as well, I remember when our CEO, Petra Roach, she came to Carriacou during our Maroon Festival, and while in Strings in the City, people were doing the Hills and Two and the Big Drum Dance, she was like, why not have a training whereby persons can learn these dances, so when they come to the Maroon Festival, they ace it. We started that last year, the Maroon Committee, we started that last year, and that is something that we at the Grenada Tourism Authority, we want to support this year. Before the hosting of the festival on Paradise Beach, that is very relaxing, our best Caribbean beach, to go there every weekend to learn the different dances. So when you come in Strings in the City or during the Maroon Festival, you already aced it, so you can show off.
So this is going to be on board for this year as well, yes?
Yes.
Excellent. So again, Carriacou is certainly open for business and open to our visitors. In terms of, you mentioned again the ensuring that the young ones get into this. There's a gap, and that gap is usually post-secondary school. So there's a lot that happens in secondary school in hopes of capturing the interest of young people. When they graduate from secondary school and that structure is removed, they tend to, as you say, deviate and go away. We hope, of course, as Mr. Matheson said, they'll return to their roots. But oftentimes we find that there's a disconnect between post-secondary and late adulthood. What are we doing within that space?
One thing we're trying to do is to get communities to have groups. You see, if, for example, a child learns string music in school, and when they come out of school, there's nothing in the community to go to, then they're so if you can have groups in the community, so when they come from school, they can join these groups and be part of these groups, so that they can continue practicing the art form, the culture, so that they would be growing from strength to strength. But if there's no group, so I think, and the Ministry of Carriacou and Diplomatic Affairs, especially their youth department, is, I know they have been on a drive to forming youth groups in the different communities, so we can have this. It's like a feed a program from the schools into the community so that these groups can just continue growing from strength to strength.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing. We are nearing the end of our conversation this evening, and so in a few moments I'll give you the opportunity to make some final appeals and do some wrap-up statements. But again, with respect to the community groups and forming those bodies that can help to preserve the various aspects of the Carriacou, and perhaps I should say Grenadian culture, because we are one people. So we have the strings, we have Shakespeare Mass, you mentioned quadrille, heel and toe,
big drum,
even Saraka. Saraka right now can be found towards countryside and Carriacou. I don't know of many Sarakas taking place within the south of the island. Correct me, of course, if I'm wrong. But within the structure for Kayak Mass this year, are there any grants, special funds, dedicated sponsorships that would go towards either those groups or the vendors or the trainers or the supporters in order to make those things happen? Because it's one thing to appeal and ask, but it's another thing to put your money where your mouth is.
Well, tourism is supporting the Shakespeare Mass aspect of the festival, and they've been doing that for the past what years?
About 10.
Probably past 10 years they've been doing that. So we know when it comes to Shakespeare Mass, we can count on the Grenada Tourism Authority to support that. The other aspects is not funded by any corporate bodies also. So that's where some of the government, whatever the government, subvention from the government goes towards. So for example, assisting some of the mass bands, helping them. And this year, for example, like we said, we're going to be doing the music on the street. So we're going to sponsoring that aspect of things. And so those monies come from central government to ensure that this thing happen. Again, the showcase, the Calypso and the Soca showcase, the stipend that we're going to give to the performers, again, most of it comes from central government, because we're not charging a fee to the event. We'll be running a bar and we're giving vendors an opportunity to come and sell eats. So again, central government is playing its part in ensuring that this aspect of our culture happens. I mean, and this year we would not be having the pan, because Beryl did a number on the pans, and we have the young pan side, and Beryl did a number of the pans, and the information we got is that the pans need tuning, and most tuner come from Trinidad, and at this time to get a tuner out of Trinidad is impossible. So hopefully by next year's Carnival, or even before next year's Carnival, probably shortly after Trinidad Carnival is over, we can get a tuner here to retune the pan so that we can have the steel pan back up and running here. Because I mean, there are some young persons who are involved in the pan, and they were doing an excellent job prior to Beryl. But Beryl has since put a damp on that, so we hope soon after the Carnival, they can get the tuner in, retune the pans, and get the program back up and running so that we can have pan, because it's not just only for Carnival, but for all our festivals, the kids go there and play sweet pan music.
Excellent. Ms. Mills, would you like to weigh in here?
No, I think you covered it all.
I caught you off guard. But folks, we have been chatting with Ms. Rina Mills. She's the Product Development Officer at the Grenada Tourism Authority, and Mr. Anderson Leftist Matheson. He's the Cultural Officer attached to the local government, Carriacou and PT Martinique Government of Grenada. We have been discussing Carriacou Carnival, and so before we wrap up for this evening, I want to give each of you 1 minute final parting words to our audience.
All right. First of all, I want to take the opportunity to thank GBN for having us appear on your Beyond the Headlines. I want to say a special thank you to you for assisting us in sharing information. We want to say a special thanks to everyone who already came on board to assist and support us in the hosting of Kayak Mass 2025. The persons out there, feel free to contact Leftist or myself or any member of the committee for information. Kayak Mass 2025, of course, as we have been saying, there are many reasons why we are having it this year, and we want to say to everyone out there, as I've said before, Carriacou is open. We are open for business. Feel free to come enjoy our Mass with us. Of course, Carriacou Mass is very historical, and we want to continue in the same breath. Leftist?
Yeah. I mean, before I do my final, I must, we didn't do that at the beginning. The theme for this year's Carnival. And the theme says, the spirit of mass outlives the storm. All right, and I guess it tells you the idea behind having the Carnival. Miss Mills thank everyone, so I wouldn't go back there, but what I'll do is ask persons who is coming to Carriacou for Carnival and Carriacouans and Pitmaticians, let's be safe as we come to release some of our stress, subsidize our income. Whatever we come to do, participate in true spirit of revelry, have fun, enjoy yourself, and at the end of the day, you're going to have a wonderful Carnival. Again, we appeal to everyone out there and anyone out there who can come on board and support us in whatever way, cash or kind. You're welcome to come on board. We will accept you with open arms to assist us in executing 2025 Carriacou Carnival. So once again, when you come to the Carriacou Carnival, as we say, the safest carnival in the world, let's keep it that. Come with your intention to have fun, and you're going to leave Carriacou having fun, enjoying what we have to offer for you for Carnival 2025. Thank you.
If you can please allow me before we leave to say goodnight to someone who sent a message via social media. Bumbo the Jab, I don't know that person, but they indicated that they and the team would be coming to Carriacou to play a weekly Juve, so we welcome you. Good night.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and thank you to all of our viewers. This has been Beyond the Headlines, Carnival Rebound 2025. Carriacou is on the rise. Carriacou is open for business. And as the theme says, the spirit of mass outlives the storm. We'll see you again next week for another edition of Beyond the Headlines.